Shalom, it's Tehillah from the Kifar with our bi-weekly Hebrew verbs lesson. And this week we are going to talk about the verb to go or to walk. And we're also going to do more than that. We're going to talk about a few different verbs. And that is going to wrap up the Paal present tense lesson. So we've spent quite a bit of time on Paal present tense. And so for verbs lesson number 10, we're going to actually start with the past tense. All right, so we don't have a review like we usually do to go over. In the last video, which was a review lesson, I gave you 10 verbs to conjugate. So if you need the answer key, it's posted on my blog, thekifar.com/blog, and you can find the answers to the verbs or the conjugations to the verbs there. All right, so here, let's just quickly go over the different Paal subgroups that we have learned so far. So there's the regular group. Get rid of the lamed and the vav to find the shoresh. Our sound pattern is o'e, o'e'et, o'im, and o'ot. We have the aha group. Those are verbs where the middle letter of the shoresh is an aleph, hey, chet, or ayin. And our sound pattern is o'e, o'e'et, o'aim, and o'aot. We have our vav tav groups, and these are the ones where the infinitive ends in a vav and a tav. Okay, so vav tav is the last two letters of the infinitive. The vav tav converts into a hey when we find the root, and our sound pattern is o'e, o'ah, o'im, and o'ot. We have a group of verbs that the shoresh, the root, ends in an ayin, and that sound pattern is o'ea, o'a'at, o'im, and o'ot. We have a group where the shoresh ends in an aleph, and that sound pattern is o'e, o'et, o'im, and o'ot. And then we have verbs where the root is only two letters instead of the usual three, and that's just a'ah, a'im, and a'ot. And remember the pronunciation of your roots, because these are pa'al or kal verbs, they're going to have an a'a sound pattern in the pronunciation. So ahal, ahav, ra'ah, shama, kara, and shar. Here we just have just one vowel sound. And that's going to be important in the next lesson when we talk about the past tense. Okay, so just remember that. So we're going to talk about verbs today where the infinitive ends in a tav. Don't confuse this with the vav tav. This is not a vav tav. Just ends with a tav. These are also groups of Paal verbs. So generally, you know that the Paal verb has a vav or a yod is the second to last letter. Of course, Hebrew is full of exceptions, and these are a few of them. So here's some examples. Lalechet, here's the tav at the end, and lalechet is to walk or to go. Lada'at, which is to know. Here again, the tav at the end. Again, this is not a vav tav, just a tav at the end. Laga'at, which is to touch, again with the tav at the end, and lashevet, again with the tav at the end. So what this tav actually signifies, or what this is telling us, is that there is a missing root letter in this infinitive. So the three letters of your root that you need in order to conjugate this verb in the present tense are not there. You only have two of the three letters. You have the last two, you're missing that first letter, root letter number one. All right, so I'm going to show you now how to figure out what that first letter is, because you're not going to be able to conjugate it. You don't know what pattern it falls into until you know what are those three letters of your root. Okay, because you don't know what's going on. So 3 steps that you're going to take. The first one is the usual, get rid of that initial lamed. Okay, we have lalechet, get rid of that initial lamed. The second step, now we're going to get rid of that final tav, because this tav basically serves one purpose. You can look at it this way. The tav at the end of this infinitive is letting us know that we're missing the first letter of our root. Now that we know we're missing the first letter of our root, the tav can be excused, okay? It's not a part of the root. It's just there to let us know you don't have all the letters here, all right? So now that we know that, we can get rid of it. And the third step is to figure out what that initial letter is, okay? We're left with our lamed. We have the chaf. What is that first letter? And the easiest way to do that is to look it up. And you can use a tool like Morphix, okay? Morphix.co.il. Don't be intimidated by all of the Hebrew. It's incredibly simple to use. If you don't have a Hebrew keyboard already, you can just click that little button there on the side, and a Hebrew keyboard will pop up, and you can just click on the letters that you want. Okay, so we're looking up lalechet, which is to go or to walk. So we type in lalechet right up here, and then we press the green tirgum button, which is to translate, and we see here the root. halach. Okay, so we already knew that there was a lamed, we knew that there was a chaf, so now it's given us that first letter, the he, halach. Okay, so lalechet, that's what we started with, our infinitive. We got rid of the lamed, that just gave us lechet. Now we're getting rid of the tav, because now that we know we need a letter, the tav can go. And we looked up and we found that he was the missing letter, and so our root is halach. So this, as you can see, is just a regular Paal verb. Now that we have the root, it's regular. It's not acha. It doesn't end in an ayin. It doesn't end in an aleph. It's just a regular verb. So we're going to conjugate it the way that we conjugate regular verbs. Masculine sound pattern is oe, so that's holech. He goes or he is going. Holechet for feminine, she goes or she is going, or also walking. He goes, he walks, he is walking. Holech. She walks or she is walking. He holechet. Okay, masculine plural, holchim. Hem holchim, they are going or they are walking. And holchot. Okay, feminine plural, they feminine are going or they are walking. Okay, so this is a regular verb. We're conjugating it just like we conjugate a regular verb. The only thing is we had to find that first letter of our shoresh. I'm going to do another example to show you how you can do this. So here we have another verb. We're going to use the verb lada'at. And lada'at is to know. All right, step one, as always, get rid of that initial lamed. So now we're left with da'at. Okay, we know now, thanks to that tav at the end, that we're missing the first letter of our shoresh, so we can get rid of that tav now. It's served its purpose, it's done, it can go. Okay, now step three, we have to find what is that missing initial letter. We have the dalet, we have the ayin, we need our first letter. We're gonna go back to Morphix, back to our little keyboard, type in the verb, and here we go, yada. So we see here that our missing letter was the yod. So got rid of the lamed, then got rid of the tav at the end, looked it up, and we got the yod, and that is our root. So the root of this verb is yada. Okay, yada. Now we're going to conjugate it. How are we going to conjugate this verb? We see here that the root ends in an ayin. So we're going to follow that pattern of the verbs where the root ends in ayin. Our masculine sound pattern is o-e-a, like yodea. Hu yodea, he knows. Hu lo yodea, he doesn't know. Okay, just put lo, no, in front of a verb to negate it. O-a-at gives us yoda'at for feminine singular. Ani yoda'at, I know, for a female. Ani lo yoda'at, I don't know. Okay, again, for a female. O'im, yod'im, masculine plural. Anachnu yod'im, we know. Anachnu lo yodim, we don't know. And feminine plural, o'ot, that gives us yodot. Hen yodot, they feminine know. Hen lo yodot, they feminine do not know. Okay, so just a reminder, because I'm going to give you some more of these verbs to conjugate, that there is a free verb conjugation chart that you can download from my blog, so you can use those as well. And so your exercises are, as usual, use what you learned today, find the roots of these two verbs, and conjugate them in the present tense. And so you're going to use Morphix, or if you have another Hebrew translation tool that works really well for you, you can use that. But Morphix is free. There's an app, and it's usually very, very accurate. So your first verb is lashevet, and lashevet is to sit. And your second verb is laga'at, and laga'at is to touch. Okay, so you see here that both of them end in a tav, not a vav tav, just a tav. So you're going to get rid of the lamed, get rid of the tav, look up the infinitive in Morphix to find out what that missing first letter is. And then based on your complete root, once you found what those three letters are, then you'll know how to conjugate it based on what pattern it falls into. All right, so again, next week we are going to start past tense, but we will do a review of these exercises. So don't worry if you have questions or you still didn't get them all. That's enough for today. If you have questions about Paal verbs as a whole, of course, there are still irregular verbs and things that don't fall into any of these patterns that we've done. I can't go into every single verb for the videos, but if you have general questions or one of the specific groups that you're still not grasping, let me know in the comments below. If you have a question, chances are a lot of other people have the same question. And then if I need to, I can do a video to clear all those things up, or maybe I'll just do a live and just answer some questions, okay? So toda for watching, as always, and I will see you next time for the next video. Shalom.